welcome back to the Elevated Chat Room. It's your host. I'm going solo today because my guy, Dwayne Malone, taking a break on me. No, I'm just playing, but he is out for the day. So your host, Lonzo Jones, welcome, like I said, to the Elevated Chat Room. Elevate your mind, elevate your life. Now, people, we got a special guest with us on tonight. We got Miss Kristen Latham with us tonight. Now, before I get into all that, let me tell you what the topic is. Trailblazing the locker rooms. A woman's love for a man's game. So we got Kristen Latham.
Hello.
Right now, she is a recruiter for the football team at UNA, an internship right now.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to let her introduce herself. Go ahead, take over.
Hey, y'all. My name's Kristen Latham, like he said. Back in April, I went over to UNA and spoke with them about an internship. I just wanted to get some experience, some hands-on knowledge about the football industry. And that was, now UNA is a D1 school. They've moved up, and they are building this huge facility and stadium, and I just wanted to get my foot in the door somewhere to where I could learn and have some experience. So I'm currently doing that. That has just started. They just got through with their camp, their mini camp, their young ones, and so we're fixing to really get the ball rolling on that. But just recently, something bigger than that, I was actually hired on with the Cincinnati Bengals for a seasonal associate. I know, right? Little old me from Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
That's big time stuff right there.
It is. I'm pretty proud of it. It will be treated like an internship, but it's a paid position.
Sweet.
So I, kind of get the best of both worlds. I also actually spoke with my advisor today from the school, and I will be getting credit for the time that I'm with them to apply towards my degree.
That's what's up.
So it's kind of a, two birds, one stone kind of thing.
Win-win.
So I'm pretty excited about that, and I'm excited to talk football with you tonight.
Well, let's talk football first.
Okay.
Before we get into all deep, what is D1 for my listeners that don't understand? You said UNA went to D1. So what does D1 mean, and what was UNA?
So Division I is what D1 stands for, and the easiest way to, I guess, to tell you all what that is Alabama's a D1 school. Auburn's a D1 school. They played Florida State this past year. I'm not sure if you were aware of that. That's a D1 school. So they're up there with the
big boys.
Yeah, the big boys. And I think once they get this new stadium built, we will see the bigger, more well-known teams coming to Florence. So it's a pretty big thing.
Okay, so now the stadium, I think they
Bank Independent Stadium.
Bank Independent Stadium. Yeah. Now my question is, I've heard that it's not going to be a huge stadium. So
it's pretty big.
How many is it supposed to sit?
Right now, they will sit, I think when I looked it up, it was 40-something thousand, 42. Don't quote me exact on that. And I know it will hold more than that.
Okay.
I was unable to go to the unveiling of the new facility. I was in Cincinnati. So I didn't get all the details.
Okay.
But I know it is bigger than what they have now, and it's going to be a super nice facility.
Okay, that's what's up. Because I heard that it may have only seat no more than like 12 to 14. That's why I'm asking.
Really?
So, yeah, that's why I was asking you, because you there, so, but.
I may be wrong. I may be getting it confused with, I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't say. Like I said, I went for that interview in Cincinnati.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was like, if you're going to build a stadium for the big boys, and then you say you want to bring these teams in, like I'm trying to figure out, like, that must just be in the policy, like when you go up to a certain level, like the smallest your stadium can be to actually be D1.
Right.
I know it's a whole lot of red tape, but I was just wondering.
Yeah, it's kind of like the NFL. You have to have a certain size stadium or meet certain requirements with your stadium to host a Super Bowl. So it's kind of the same thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so my thing is this: what sparked your interest into football as a female? Come on now.
I know, I get it all the time.
So what sparked that?
To be honest with you, I'm an only child, and growing up, my dad played football. He was a huge fanatic, and growing up, that was our thing. I remember him having to tell me repeatedly, get out from in front of the TV, get out from, but I was so interested in the game and what was going on, even at a young age. And that was our time together. That was what we shared together. And so in the beginning, it was just our bonding, what we did together over football. But as I got older and I learned the game, the technicality, what they're doing, how this, all of that, I love the physical part of it, that it's such a physical sport. Those big hits, those big, I love it. If anybody's never been to an NFL game, it is so electric.
Mm.
It's addicting. I love it.
So you say NFL. Now I know you've been to some college games.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
of course.
So you would rather go to an NFL game than a college game?
During the Saban during the Saban era, it would be hard to choose between a Bama game and an NFL game because they're a lot alike, to be honest. But just the highest level of football that you can be at, of course, is the NFL. And I've been to several stadiums. My favorite is Arrowhead in Kansas City. It is the actual loudest NFL stadium.
Okay.
And if you've never been to Arrowhead during a football game, it is insane.
Now, is it insane because you said, that it's the loudest stadium?
It is. It is
Okay.
the loudest stadium. Also, the vibe, the energy, it's, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just something you got to experience.
See, that's what I was wondering because, like I'm not a diehard NFL. I don't have a team that I just,
Right.
I like certain players. Like
Right.
I like Lamar Jackson, so I'm
He's
pulling for the
great.
Ravens.
Yeah, of course.
But it's different in college. In college, like you have a team, and you stick with it, that passion, that
It's
energy.
a Southern thing, yes.
Okay, so I'm a Virginia Tech fan.
Okay.
So I've been to some Virginia Tech games on the Thursday night against Miami.
Oh, I've heard.
And
I've never been to
the
one, but I've
stadium
seen it's insane.
It's just like
Yeah.
retarded. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
It is.
Like we hit the Richter scale. Like
Yeah.
when we're there. Like it's just that live,
Yeah.
right? And they play Into the Sandman. So when you come in, everybody's just jumping. The whole
It's a
stadium.
vibe, yes.
So that's why I was wondering, like, hey, does that because you're passionate, like you're truly passionate for the team, as compared to coming to see a certain player, when it comes to the NFL.
Mhm.
That's why I was asking which one would you think is just has that more energy.
It's really hard to say because, like you said, I mean, and I'm an Alabama fan, so it would be hard to choose.
Gotcha.
Because those Bama games, it's electric.
Yeah, I've been to some Bama games too.
They're fun. I've been going since I was young, so
Okay.
it's but maybe it's just Arrowhead Stadium. I don't know. Their fans they're different.
Okay.
They're you go to some teams or some stadiums and their fans are rude or obnoxious.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of it. Because it's very competitive, and that's another reason why I like the sport. I'm super competitive.
We couldn't tell.
Yeah. But when you go to Arrowhead, I don't know how to explain it. It's insane.
Okay. Well,
everybody should experience, even if you're not a Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
Or they play the Ravens.
Yeah.
So go check it out. It's great.
I bet it is a pretty dope, especially when you got a winning program. Dynasty that's pretty much
right now.
I'm sure
they're going for that three-peat.
I know, and
they got the team to do it.
Yeah,
they do, no doubt.
Well, anytime you got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and
you
Kelsey,
can't bet against.
You can't really because as great as Lamar is,
he was a great quarterback,
right? But he's not Patrick Mahomes.
He's not.
And that just speaks to the greatness of Patrick Mahomes,
right?
Like Lamar won MVP.
Yep.
But
then you got Pat winning these Super Bowls. Right. Yeah, I know, right?
So it's just good football right now. It's a good time to watch.
It is
football on both levels.
True.
Now my next question with you would be, how have you overcame obstacles in being a woman in this pretty much a male dominant field? What obstacles have you faced, and how did you overcome it?
So a few weeks back, I made a post on Facebook. And I was literally just looking for local high school teams that would let me come just volunteer. Yeah. Like, hey, I want to, because even though I'm going to be traveling back and forth to Cincinnati, I will be here. They only have 10 home games. Okay. So there will be weekends during football season that I'm going to be at home. And, I'm just steadily trying to get, experience, knowledge, hands-on. And so I posted and said, hey, like, this is what I'm doing. I would love to volunteer or come shadow or whatever, And a local school system football coach, I'm not going to name him, messaged my husband and was like, hey, we would love to have you help our team. This is my number. They thought it was for my husband because it's football.
Yeah.
Right? There's no way this woman wants to. This woman's crazy. And so I got his number from and I called him and I was like, hey, this is Kristen Latham. You messaged my husband. And I was like, but it's actually for me. And instantly his tone changed. He said, oh. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I would love. And he was like, well, I'll just have to talk to the principal about it. And I was like, okay. Well, and I expected that. And I was like, this is my number. Please reach back out.
Yeah.
And I never heard a word, which is, it's to be expected.
Yeah. So he said he had to speak to the principal. Are there any like legit rules or policy in place that says you can't have a female
Not
coaching?
that I'm aware of.
Okay, so that was just basically his comment.
I would definitely think not, because that could raise some big problems.
True.
So I would think no. But, when he thought it was my husband, it was like, hey, we would love to have you come on. Let's get started. This is my number. Like,
Yeah.
we're ready. And then when he found out it was for me, it was like, oh, well.
Did you follow up with him?
No, I didn't, because when one door closes, another opens. And a few days later, the Bengals messaged me and were like, hey, we would love to have you for an interview. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, that's great. Let's go.
I was just wondering if you just follow up, because it's like, dude, why you didn't call me back? You said you want to talk to the principal.
He is on my social media, so he knows that I got hired on with the Bengals. Yeah. So I hope he's like, dang, man, that would have been good for our program, to have somebody who's working at the highest level, just to give us her time. But, being a female in a male-dominant sport, there's a lot of people who are probably like, she's never going to be anything. And then, which of course I was shocked that I got hired on at the highest level possible this early on, and, in my journey. But that's another thing, references. Dr. Hutchinson is my professor. He was my professor, my fitness management professor. And he taught me a lot when I went through his class. And the biggest thing I can tell everybody, especially females, if you want to do this, is network. You have to kind of know somebody. And I hate to put it like that, but that's the world today. That's life. You've got to know somebody, or you've got to have a really good reference. The biggest thing they can do is set up a LinkedIn profile. If you don't have one of those, do it today, because that's where you're going to do all your networking. That's where all these jobs are posted. That's where all these teams are posted. Okay. And so, yeah, I went through that, and then I know he saw the post, of course. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to follow up, but I still would like to give my time when I'm here to a local, organization. So if anybody wants my help, or just, whatever, I don't mind if I'm filling water bottles up, I would love to help. But, you got to start from the bottom. You can't start at the highest level, especially being a female, in a male dominant sport. And so Dr. Hutchinson, my professor, he told me, he was like, girl, it don't matter if you're cleaning toilets for the NFL. If that's what they offer you, you take it. And I was like, yes, sir. And so, here we are.
That's a great opportunity. You don't just want to
It's the NFL. Right. Your foot's in the door. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're on their payroll. They look at your name. They know you're there. And if you do a good job at what you're doing, like my hiring manager, shout out to Todd McCrell. That's who hired me and gave me a shot and took a chance on me. And, he told me from day one, he was like, the NFL is going to welcome you with open arms as a female, because the NFL is big on women in sports. And I'm going to touch on that in just a little bit. But he told me, he was like, girl, if you come in here and you do a good job, he was like, I'm going to give you a reference for a full-time position working in the office with the big dogs. And I'm like, okay. So
that's good, because I've noticed over the past recent years that it is a push to get more females.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like even in the NBA, in the G League, and like you said, now in the NFL.
Yeah.
So it's almost as if y'all are sought out now.
In the NFL and at the college level, for sure, it is. The NCAA, it's a huge. I mean, it's not rare to see a woman in a big time position. High school level, especially in our area, they just, I don't know, I don't get it. They're just like, no. But I hate to tell them it's coming, because there's a lot of women in sports right now, and it's just going to work its way down. And if they're smart, they're going to be like, hey, you know what? Especially, and I'm not trying to get out there and practice these boys or coach. I like the operations part of it.
Yeah.
The stuff that goes on behind the doors to get a game ready, to get everything ready for a game, And that's another thing, is there's so many opportunities with sports management, a degree. You can do so many different things.
Okay.
So
would you say they perceive you a certain way when you? Well, obviously that's happening, because as far as the text message or
for sure
the message you got back from the local coach here. But how do you think they perceive you when you're reaching out, for the most part?
At the high level or around here?
Just talk about all of them. Just hit them all.
The NFL, they're very, like I said, it's an everyday thing for them.
Okay.
So nothing no different than the next man that applied.
Okay.
College is the same way. I've already looked into doing an internship at the University of Alabama next, they're already full for this year. So sadly, which I've already got the thing lined up with the Bengals. But anyways, but around here, it's like frowned upon, and I'm not sure why. I feel like they think I'm not educated.
Okay, there we go. That's what I'm thinking. Is like this is a man's sport.
Of course.
How can you possibly know?
She knows nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I get that. I mean, but it's going to take a special coach or a special program
to be open-minded and to and what my thinking is you're going to open up to, if the first school that does that in this area and it's successful for them, they're going to open up a whole new door for other,
Yeah. I like that idea. So you do still, like you say, you still want to be on the local.
I mean, as much as I can do, the most experience, hands-on, I'm not, just because I've got an internship with an NFL doesn't mean I don't want to help out a local high school team, And
so what is if there was one thing that you truly want to learn, like in one area, because you said there's a lot of things you can do with sports, what is that one particular thing? Not that you want, not at the end of your career.
Right.
You already kind of hinted to that. You told me that when we was talking, but what do you want to get out of it right now at a local level?
At a local level, because this is one of my options, is to stay local at the end of my career and be an athletic director for a school or for the rec center, or I would prefer to work for a school, of course. But the main thing that I want to, and that's why I want to help at a school, is so I can learn how it's done at each level and choose from that what I want to do at the end of my career. How does it work with high school level? How does it work at college level? And I'm going to learn how it works at the highest level. So I just want to have my options open and learn it all so I can make my choice and what I truly want to do.
Okay. Is there any story you want to share with us before we go any further? Any story, like anything that you just want to throw to the people, anything like that?
It's not a story, but as a woman in sports, because I've talked to several girls who want to do it, but they're like, oh, I just didn't know, and I'm like, my biggest thing is, girl, go get it. Like, go do it. Like, there's no, the future is now, especially with the NFL. Like, I follow all of their platforms, and women in sports is a huge thing, and it's going to be a very big thing. As of November of last year, there were 223 full-time positions with the NFL, all females. 10% of the NFL is owned. I take that back. 35% of the NFL is owned by a female. 10 owners are female. We now have 3 refs that are female in the NFL. So there's not nothing a woman can't do in the NFL right now. I mean, they're on the field, they're off the field, they're owning the team. So that's just, go do it. Like, there's endless possibilities for you. Just because you're a woman does not mean you can't work at the highest level with a man sitting next to you. And so
what would that one attribute you would need as a woman when you're going about this type of career? What
you
attribute?
Definitely have to be thick-skinned.
Because
just like the coach that's local, you're going to get like, oh, no, we're good, or they're going to think you don't know anything, or they're going to think you're just, she's a woman, she should not be working, So thick-skinned for sure, and you have to have confidence.
Okay.
You definitely have to be confident, because if you go in to an NFL interview, and I learned this when I went, if you are not confident in yourself and they see that, no. They have hundreds and hundreds of people who apply for these NFL positions. So you've got to stand out to them and let them know, like, hey, I'm here to learn, I'm here to work, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Okay. So you're spot on, because just our conversation, like I was telling you, when you walk in, like, you notice your confidence, you notice that you have knowledge of your particular topic.
Right.
So you know what you're doing, you know what you're saying, you're confident. I like what Coach Prime, how he always talks about, confidence. He was like, don't let my confidence, you know what I'm saying, offend you.
Right.
It's not my.
He knows what he knows.
I just wear it.
Yeah.
It's just who I am.
That's right.
It's like cologne,
Yeah.
you smell me, So yeah, you
Sanders.
definitely gonna have to have some thick skin.
For sure.
And then and see that thick skin covers so many different areas. It's not just thick skin and just getting the rejections.
Right.
It's thick skin once you probably get in there.
Oh, yeah.
And
Like,
then
if you're I can only imagine, like, because part of my job description with the NFL is gonna be game setup,
okay.
okay? And you're working at the highest level. All this is televised. It's gotta be exact. And if
Mhm.
you mess up, I guarantee you, you're gonna know about it. Like, you are gonna know, hey, this is not, so you've just gotta be, but that's part of learning, that's part of it. So definitely thick-skinned for sure.
Thick skin, confident, and we'll say knowledgeable.
For sure. Like, I have studied so much outside of what I have to have for school, because I love it and I want to know. Like, I don't, because I get questioned so much. Well, how do you know, this, and this? And I'm like, well, and then when I can roll it off and they're like, oh, well, maybe she is educated. So the more you know in the position that you want to work, the better off you're going to be.
I agree. And that's in like anything.
Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
So how do you intend to help other women when it comes to this sport?
Like I said, I've spoke to a few who've reached out, especially once I got that I posted that I got the position in Cincinnati. Like, I'm just here to help and support. Like, there's so many platforms out there. One I'm going to shout out to Nicole Lynn. She is an NFL PAA. She's an agent. I don't know if y'all are familiar with her, but she got at the time that it was done, it was the highest contract ever. It was Jalen Hurts with the Philadelphia Eagles. He played for Alabama, Roll Tide. Yeah. She and her team, which is all female for him, he has not one male on his team, got him the highest paying contract in history at that time.
Yes, she did.
So she has a book called Agent U. And if I've read it, I got it, read it. So, shout out to her. She's one that I look up to.
Okay.
And then Monica Madrid. She is the founder and CEO of Football is Sexy.
Okay.
And it's sexy for everybody. I mean, not just men. We like to see men in the football pants, but you know what? It's a platform for us women who thoroughly enjoy the game, and it's a platform for us to sit and talk and not be scrutinized or demeaned and so I really like her. So I just suggest to all those girls who want to do this and pursue it, you can do it. Make sure you follow all these platforms and read and study. That's your biggest thing. I'm here to help. Like, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. I would love to help.
How can they reach out to you? Where can they find you at?
They can find me on Facebook, Kristen Latham. I also have LinkedIn under Kristen Latham and Instagram as well.
Okay.
And it's fun. That's another reason why I wanted to do it. I worked in healthcare my entire life, actually, from 18 until I decided, I woke up one day and I was like, this is not what I want to do with my life every day. My mother was a nurse, and so I thought I had to follow in those footsteps, and I went to school for nursing, did certification, nursing assistant and all that, but that just wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
And so I truly believe if you wake up and do something you enjoy, you'll never work a day in your life. And so I absolutely love the game of football. So to be able to do that for the rest of my life, and I mean, who don't want to be at an NFL game and say, hey, I'm at work, but you're, I mean, hello, So and another big thing is to make sure you have a good support system.
Okay, that's good.
Because I am married, I have children. I homeschool my children while I'm teaching myself, pretty much, because I do 100% online courses.
Yeah.
For my bachelor's. And so my husband and my children have been super supportive. So you've got to have a good support system. But know that you can do it. Like, if you just got to go get it. You just got to want it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, this is what I want. That's what I'm going to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I was just writing down, because I'm always taking notes so I can know where to go for as far as the conversation. And I was writing down family life.
Yeah.
Because I was like, so what's this family life like if you're going to be gone? Like, are you married? You have kids? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Like, so what does that look like? What is that going to look like when you're out of town?
Luckily, we homeschool, and the reason we started doing that, my husband just retired from 16 years active duty in the Army, 7 deployments. Shout out to him for being
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. But we were just traveling so much. It was just the best thing for our children because you can't take them in and out. It's just
Hmm.
so we're going on year 4 of homeschooling. And so luckily my family will be going with me to Cincinnati.
Oh, snap. That's what's
So
up.
I'm excited. Like
That
I
is
said,
what's
they're a
up.
great support system. And that's what, my husband was like, whatever we have to do to make it work, you're going. And he was like, if they offer you that job, you tell them you'll take it. And I
That's
was
what's
like,
up.
okay. So we will be at all home games.
Sweet.
And I will be doing their camp next month. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. That's that's pretty impressive,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you.
And it's like God has aligned everything up, you know.
Literally, everybody's like, so how is it that you're doing this later in life? And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm in my prime, I'm in my 30s. So
Mhm.
I don't think it's later in life. But I'll be honest, when I went to my interview with the NFL, he was like, your age is beneficial. He was like, because we have all these young kids who come in, they don't want to work, they don't
Mhm.
want to learn. So I feel like at first I was scared that my age was going to hinder me, but
Yeah.
it's actually helped me.
Yeah.
I'm more grounded, I'm
Mhm.
more mature, and I know what I want.
Yeah.
And so it's worked out. Like you said, it's literally lined up the way it was supposed to.
Yeah. So if you would have got that local job, would you
Mhm.
have still applied for it? Were you even have been looking to
Mhm.
apply for anything else if you would have got that local job?
Yes,
You would have
for
still?
sure.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. That's it's pretty exciting. You know what
I'm
I'm saying?
pumped.
You know?
I had to buy my first Cincinnati apparel while we were up there. So I guess I'm gonna be screaming "Who Dey," but I'm pumped about it. So it's gonna be a good time.
The Bengals got some good players too. They got
Joe Burrow,
yeah.
hello, yeah. So he's like right behind Pat Mahomes. He was
Yeah.
out all last season with an injury,
Mhm.
and they're saying that this year he's going to give him some competition. And they're actually, and I'm kind of sad about it. They're playing at Kansas City.
Okay.
But luckily we get tickets at a good price, so gonna definitely check that out. But yeah, Joe Burrow, like
You
they're
got Jamar Chase.
great.
Y'all, I think you guys have a re-signed T Higgins. Well,
They
you
did,
didn't franchise tagged him, but
yes,
he's back on the
same
team.
thing. Yeah, he'll be
Yeah.
there.
And then I think you guys have a guy on the D line that's supposed to be one of the best D line. I can't remember.
Cody Ford,
That may be him.
probably.
Okay, so yeah, y'all have a squad. I mean, y'all went to the Super Bowl year before last, or 2 years ago, 3,
2 or 3 years ago they did, I
right?
think. Yeah.
And then, like I said, Burrow got
He
hurt.
got hurt, and I think that's what messed him up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you already turned into a Bengals fan.
That's right. When he hired me on, like, I'm just a straightforward person.
Yeah.
And I was like, sir, I need to tell you something. And he was like, what? And I was like, I'm a Chiefs. I'll say I'm a Chiefs fan. Okay. I'm not going to hide it. And he was like, it doesn't matter. We have people from all over the country.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was like, okay, thank goodness.
I'm just looking for opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And he was like, when you're in this building, you're a Bengals fan. And I was like, yes, sir. So
That makes sense.
yeah.
And we call it even after that.
Yeah.
So let's get to this end goal of yours.
Mhm.
So I mean, doing all this local, whether it's local, college, the NFL experience, what is your be all end goal with this football thing? What do you want to do?
Whether I use it or not,
Yeah.
there in the state of Alabama, in the entire U.S., there's 850 licensed agents.
Okay.
There is not one female in the state of Alabama. And I intend to be the first
The first what?
female licensed NFL agent.
Okay, y'all hear that? You got big dreams.
I do. Now, like I said, I don't know if I want to do contract work.
Okay.
And that goes back to saying I want all this experience so I can learn and see where I want to put myself at the end. Now, whether or not I ever do it, but that's my goal.
Okay.
I want to be able to say, hey, you know what? I did this.
So so first off, let's do this. How do you even get qualified to become a sports agent? What are those steps?
So you have to have a bachelor's.
Okay.
And then after that, you have to have a master's. Or if you can prove that you have 7 years experience, they will throw out the having to have the master's.
Okay.
You pay your $2,500 and you take your exam.
Okay. Now, what kind of exam is it?
They just call it the NFLPA exam. I have no idea what's on it because I'm not at that level yet.
Yeah.
But if you take it and pass it, you're in.
But you still have to go get clients, so don't you?
Of course,
Okay.
you do. If I do end up doing that long term, I would want to work for Clutch Sports, and that is Jalen Hurts and his team, Nicole Lynn. They are one of the best agencies.
So you can actually work for agency. You don't have to be.
You don't have to be independent, correct?
Oh, see, I thought you always had to be independent. You got to go get your own. Okay, that's pretty interesting.
And if you have a good name behind you, as far as an agency like Clutch Sports,
Yeah,
huge.
You're gonna get people.
Yeah, I mean, if you have that behind your name, it's gonna happen. If I'm not mistaken, I believe, and I don't quote me on this, I think Clutch signed all of the Alabama draftees this year.
I'm not surprised, just because of the relationship they've built. They know they trust Jalen.
Yes, word of mouth.
Yes,
you know, hey, look, this guy got the biggest. You know, we want you. You know, we want you.
So, as a sports agent, you about to educate me. So, as a sports agent, you have to know contracts yourself or somebody else on your team?
No, I will be learning that, and that's a class that I'll be taking later on. You have to learn the laws. We're kind of learning that now in my sports management class, actually, the laws, and it's a lot.
I bet it is.
It is. It's crazy because a lot of people don't realize when you do sports management, everybody thinks just sports. But you learn accounting, you take accounting, you take law, you learn all the laws. I mean, there's a lot more to it than just sports.
Okay, so let me ask you this. How is it that Lamar Jackson or someone else can have their mother represent them?
So she can represent him, but I don't think she can construct the contract.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
She can speak for him, but she can't construct his contract.
Okay, because they was basically saying that she was the one that, like, that's who he talks to. Basically, I guess it was like, no, you tell them this is what you want to make.
Sure.
And then somebody else can do all the paperwork. But this is the money that we're looking.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. He was like, look, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was just wondering, because I was like,
and that's one thing that we touched on in class is with a female, a lot of the players feel more comfortable and confident that a woman will get it done. So I don't know. Jalen Hurts, obviously, I mean, it went well for him.
Yeah.
So.
And then, I'm a believer in this too, though. If you are worthy, if your gameplay and your projection is worthy of a certain contract, you're gonna get it for the most part, no matter who's representing you.
Correct.
You know, I mean, if you're the top 50 players in the NFL or the top 3 at your position, you're gonna get, a certain amount. Now, I think it may be a little bit harder for the guys that are kind of mid or older, aging out, but they have all different kind of like veterans. Exclusions, all kind of things, right?
It's crazy because Pat Mahomes is not one of the top few highest paid, and everybody. This was on the Football is Sexy thing a few weeks ago. She posted like the top. I don't remember how many it was highest paid quarterbacks, and Pat was not on there.
That's because his contract is old now.
Well, not only that, but this past season, this off season, he let them take some of his money to give them more cap money to get players he needed on his. Because he wants to win.
Yeah.
He's getting so much money off these other side, endorsements and stuff. He's not worried about all the money from that. He wants to win.
Yeah.
And so, and I tried to explain that to somebody, and they were like, "No," and I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
Because I'm a female, I don't know what I'm talking about." Yeah.
I hear they say that. Well, he restructured his deal.
He did to make less money, to free up money for the Chiefs, so they could have. Yep.
So I don't see. That's what blows my mind, especially in basketball. Like you'll have, like you got the team this year. I don't know if you're familiar with the NBA, but we got the Phoenix Suns.
Yep.
You got Kevin Durant.
Yes.
You got Devin Booker. You got Bradley Beal. They're making like 90% of the team's salary. They're 90% of the team's salary cap, and now you want to have at least 5 to 6 other players that can complement them, but they couldn't put it because they don't have any money left.
Right.
So I don't understand why they wouldn't get together and say, "Hey,
we want to win."
KD, you're 36.
Right.
You've already had 2, you know what I'm saying, max contracts. Let's restructure your deal. Bradley Beal, same thing with you. Now Devin Booker, he's young, still in his prime. He's one of the best.
Right.
So I don't understand. Like, if you want to win,
you have to sacrifice. Yeah, you do. Do you know that and I did not know this until just recently, the WNBA, their women only make like $70,000 a year. Insane. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Do you not know that they're going to lose $50 million this year?
Really?
They have not profited since they have started the WNBA.
That doesn't surprise me.
And I think because the NBA, I think, is just kind of
takes over.
Yeah,
it does for sure. Yeah.
But yeah. Then my wife played college basketball. She played against DeWanna Bonner. when they was in high school. So she keeps up with
Yeah, she likes it. Yeah.
and plus with Kaylin Clark and Angel Reese
Oh
and them going
man,
to the
yes.
WMA, it's kind of
Yeah.
sparked some interest. Even though there's great female players been in the league, but it's just like, hey,
It's never.
these two is just something different about them. And so we've been watching, and we was like, okay. So the good thing about it's bad that they're only making 70,000, and that's like some of the higher paid ones. They get endorsements to make some money. They can do that, but the fact is, though, I said, well, the good thing is they're only playing basketball for like 2 or 3 months, so you can go do something else.
Something
you can
else,
go play
right.
overseas, you make some more money. But as far as the WNBA, they do not make enough money. I mean, to live comfortably.
Right. And see, with the NFL, it's completely different. Yeah, they have off season, but their contracts, they can't do a lot.
Yeah, they got restrictions on them.
A lot of restrictions. They can't do a lot. So it's like they can't go do anything else.
Yeah.
But their pay difference is hugely insane different. So.
Like, think about it, man. You got a guaranteed contract, and on the low end, they paid you $17 million guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, a year.
Yes.
Yeah, you're good.
So I mean, if you got seven, I'm assuming when they say guaranteed money, I don't know how they break it up. I don't know if it's a signing bonus, they get X amount up front.
They do.
But if I'm getting $10 million up front, and you tell me, hey, you cannot water ski, you cannot do no water sports.
I'm not doing any.
You cannot. If you do play, you can only play pickup basketball twice a month.
Right.
Like, just think, okay.
I'm not gonna do.
I'm making $10 million. You just gave me a check with all these zeros.
Right.
I'm gonna listen. So yeah, let me ask you this. Do you have any knowledge of NILs and how that works?
I don't.
Now, would agents have anything to do with NILs?
That I'm not sure. I haven't gotten to that class yet.
That's interesting.
It is.
That's some interesting stuff.
It is.
Because they're starting to do NILs in high school.
Yes. And I spoke to my husband about that. I was like, I may end up working at the college level because they're getting big money too. So
big money.
I think it's interesting.
If you, I'm like, my sons are 9 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe by the time they are juniors in high school.
Oh, it's going to be just like the
NFL.
It's
going to be just. I mean, you're going to be able to get $500,000 in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time you get to the college level, it's going to be millions for everybody.
Right.
So you literally don't even have to go pro. You can make anywhere from $500,000 up to $2 or $3 million a year. In college.
In college, right. Right.
Do you know who Mark Sears is?
Yes.
Okay, so he came back to Bama, and I was reading articles about that, and they said they had a $700,000 NIL deal package waiting for him. I was like, dude, like, that is crazy that you
That's more. Yeah, I mean, why not? Why would you not? I'm glad that he came back.
Me too. Bama's going to be loaded this year.
They will. They will.
They should return back. Hopefully, they can have the team chemistry and everything. And but yeah. So we talked about the contracts. Is there anything else we're missing when it comes to a sports agent? What else do they do? I've watched a couple of episodes of Ballers. I don't know if that's like realistic or not.
Somewhat it is, yeah.
Okay.
But they just get them their money. They get them paid. I mean, at the end of the day, that's it. I want to go, and I may be able to go. It depends on the dates if they line up next month. Lee Steinberg is Pat Mahomes' agent, and he does this he calls it a class, but it's like 3 or 4 days, and it's in Vegas, and you go out, and he teaches you what he knows about agent work. Now, he is up there.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping, if I'm not in Cincinnati, I have plans to go out there and do his class.
Okay.
Because I mean, he's great. And then yeah, that's really it. But there's a lot more to it than just getting them their money. Like you said, there's stipulations and things that are put in there, and so they go back and forth with their player and they see what they want, and they're like, well, they don't want to do, you're the man in the middle. You're the woman in the middle, just going back and forth, trying to negotiating.
At one point in time, I thought about being a sports agent. It was years ago, though. It just seemed something like it was just something super interesting.
It is.
But there was nobody really doing it, talking about it, back 15, 20 years ago.
Right. And that's why I didn't pursue back then, because a woman doing it was like taboo, So now that it's opened up more, I'm glad that I waited.
Yeah. So getting a master's degree, that's looking at what, an extra 2 to 3 years of schooling?
One.
You get your master's in one?
So I'm at the University of West Alabama, and they have a program where if you sign up for their master's, at the end of your bachelor's, classes that you're doing are kind of like a dual credit.
Wow.
So 1 year.
1 year.
1 year.
That's sweet.
That's quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
What kind of stipulations do they have you when you're getting your master's online? Is it like, because I went to University of Phoenix. I got my MBA online. It was years ago, though. I don't know if it's still the same. But you can only make 1C. You had to keep your GPA up, like
3.0 is what it has to be now.
Okay, 3.0.
Same, yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering because, and I tell people, I was like, if you're going to get a master's, you just can't be doing it just to be doing it.
No, like you have to be dedicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell the people before we close it out? I mean, you've killed it. Elevate your mind, elevate your life. This is the Elevated Chat Room. We got Kristen Latham with us tonight, man, and she has held it down.
Thank you.
You see the confidence. You heard the knowledge. I mean, hey, when you look up and you see on the big screen, don't be surprised.
That's right.
I'm gonna be calling asking for tickets. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like the Bengals, but guess what? I will go for free.
Yeah, it's crazy the people that have reached out to me since I posted it, coming out of the woodwork. Hey, I should go with you once again, and I'm like, okay, but no, it's a lot of fun, and I'm super excited.
Okay, tell them where they can reach you at one more time.
So you can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn at Kristen Latham. And if you have any questions, especially if you're a female or even a male, I'll be glad to help anybody out. But just go get it.
All right, and also. Any local high schools in the area. That's what local means.
Yeah.
Reach out. And she reaches out to you.
To.
I mean, she knows what she's doing. She has the confidence. She has the presence. And all she needs is an opportunity.
Yeah.
And you never know how that can change her life and the school's program shifted, all those good things.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's close us out. Like I said, this was an episode, the Elevated Chat Room, Trailblazing, the Locker Room, a woman's love for a man's game. We'll appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, reach out to us. If you want to be on the podcast, holler at us. All right, you guys be blessed.